is a flame of fire. On his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself.
You have to do the commandments in order to understand the wisdom that is in the Bible. And those that you learn from, if they not doing the commandments either, they are blinded. God has closed their eyes as well to the children of Israel, that we are special. No matter what the world says, no matter what, who has this Bible and they bring out their own closed eye understanding, the children of Israel, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are special.
Make any more work for the offering of the sanctuary. So the people were restrained from bringing.
If you're not in a camp, you can't put in work for God. It just told you right there, 1 through 6. If you not in a camp, you can't put in work for God. Thus saith the Lord. You can't give to God unless you're in a camp. I know what Christianity, religion, or whatever your bugged out leader done told you. Send money in through this, that, and the other. No, you can't give money unless you're in a camp. Now, don't get it misunderstood. I'm talking about those that have one that is in their area and they can make their way there. We're talking about the ones that say, I don't do camps.
Go into that, you know, you want to say something?
Yes, first and foremost, we are
Christian Hebrew Israelites.
We are
Christian Hebrew Israelites.
We are
Christian Hebrew Israelites.
I'm saying we know that we are the Hebrew Israelites. We know the natives, which I am native, and we know that the so-called blacks are the Israelites.
Right. We never forsake our nationality. We just wanted to give you our testimony on why we love the Hebrew Israelites. So, you know, and we just gonna go into. So, but yeah, our testimony, man, we love the Hebrew Israelite camps, the community. I was at IUIC. I think my wife was in GLCC, right? She was in GLCC, so you know, we was really into that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Really going hard for the culture and things like that. But it was just a lot of false doctrine. You know what I'm saying? What was one false doctrine that you dealt with in the GLCC?
So, you know, came out of Christianity, and I wasn't into Sakari and all the hardcore camps because I just knew the Holy Spirit already put it in me that was hate. You know, it was hateful. And so the closest congregation that I found to what I believed in at the time was GLCC. They believed that Gentiles could be saved, and they didn't believe in polygyny. And but one thing that led me away from them was that they preached that the virgin birth was not true. And they preached that Joseph was the actual biological father of Yahusha, who y'all know as Jesus Christ. And so that put me off. And so eventually I was leaving the camps, and my spirit started to detach from them.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you brethren, you fellow believers of this faith, even you supporters of this truth, you know, that support the body. And shalom to you few sisters, and shalom to the hopefully elect, to the elect peace. So as the intro I said, shalom to you followers of the faith and believers and supporters of this truth. This is what we're going to kind of go into in this twofold video with the IUIC. And then I saw this other clip, which I did a video on these people before. They called themselves Christian Israelites. So I'm kind of going to go into the fact about camps. Do we need to be in camps? Not necessarily, but necessary. You know, there are some who do the work and may be on their own, but they follow a doctrine. But in that doctrine, let's see what Paul says. We're going to get a couple scriptures, and we're going to kind of go into these complainers. Let's see what the scripture says. I don't know where I have it up. 1 Corinthians 14:40. Let all things be done decently and in order. That's all things, right? So anybody who think they're not in the camp, you're in the camp. Anybody who think they're not in a religion, you're in a religion. And then you have people who do their own vain will and step up and try to make themselves the followers of the Most High. Now, these Christians, this guy that's always smiling, I don't know why he's always got that Chester smile on his face. I don't know. That's another video, and I can see the way the woman looks. Again, that's another video. But these people who call themselves Christian Israelites, who believe in the heritage, right, believe in the 12 tribes, we are Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, I can't understand why they adopt the Christian doctrine and says, okay, that all nations can be saved, everybody's equal. Then why are they setting themselves apart and say we're a chosen people, or it's our heritage? And when you look at the history of our heritage, the Lord was always with the Israelites, and he always had other nations under the foot of the Israelites, or put the other Israelites under the foot of nations for punishment. So again, I don't understand the ideology that if you're a Hebrew Israelite and you understand you're a special chosen people, everybody can be saved. Isn't that kind of like you're saying you're a form of hating too? Why don't you just do away with us being a nation, as Psalms 83 says, and just say everybody's God's people? I don't get that either, but that's the hypocrisy. And let's go to Jude 1:16. This is what these people are, man. Again, how do you claim to be a heritage and say we're the vessels of the Most High, we're chosen by the Most High, and then the whole point of being chosen is to be the head and have others follow? Like if you win an NBA championship or a Super Bowl, aren't you claimed to be the head person of that year, of that season that won the championship? Nobody's equal to you because you're above them because you won. So this is weird. Jude 1:16. These are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lust, and their mouths speak great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage. Now, going to IUIC, are they right? To a degree, yes. Where they are wrong at, because all they talk about is all you got to do is follow God's commandments, but they're breaking the first commandments and then loving the Lord with all your heart and your soul and your strength. You're not following the first commandment, calling on Jesus the Christ or Most High Christ bless. Those are titles, but they say you can call on titles. His name is wonderful. His name is counselor. That word name connects with what you're talking about, like the name of a car. So if you say, what is the name of your car? Then you got to give the name of your car. So when it says, whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord, well, then you got to call on the name of the Lord. But when it says his name shall be called Counselor, Wonderful, Great, that is not calling on the name of the Lord. That's calling on the name of his titles. But again, that's another video. I don't understand why they're saying it's about following the commandments when you had wicked Pharisees who so-called followed the commandments and the laws and was wicked in themselves. And this is where we push, yes, follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, but faith will succeed that because the Lord didn't need us to slaughter lambs, animals, sacrifice, build temples. That's why Yahushua said the temple isn't within you, right? Also, the fact that the Lord brought us back through faith, through the sacrifice of the sacrificial lamb, Yahushua. But anyway, let's go on to Psalms 133:1. It says, let's see what it says here. A song of David, right? Behold, how good and how pleasant is it for brethren to dwell together in unity. It's a pleasant thing, right? Not everybody get along, not all groups get along, but we can't dwell together in unity. This also cuts that unity cap camp crap. IUIC has united with Sakari, or let me say Sakari has united with the IUIC. It's all full of crap because Sakari believes in multiple wives. The IUIC doesn't believe in multiple wives. The Sakari believe in the mark of the beast, or what they say it is. The IUIC doesn't see it that way. So how the hell are you in unity? This is not making sense. And for as this woman who says she left the GOCC, you know why she left the GOCC? She leaves the camp. These people leave the camps. This man just followed her. That's the Queen of Heaven. When you read the book of Jeremiah, I believe the 44th chapter, I believe around there, the men followed the woman into the Queen of Heaven. This woman, she didn't like the fact of what she heard in the GOCC. And she automatically knew she was against polygamy, or what they say. But I don't understand that, because there's women who will mess with men in higher authority and they don't even care if they have a wife. You see this going on in churches. You see this going on in groups. You see this going on in life. The average woman will mess with a man even if he has a wife, no matter who he's with. As long as he has something to offer her, then they'll go for it. So this simp right here, man, with this goofy smile on his face, he don't understand. He don't understand the game. He don't know women. His mama, I guess, brought him up in that spirit. He's done. He's cooked. But he's going to find out. These Eves don't. They like having the upper hand, but their spirit don't. You're not in control. This man not ruling his home, man. A lot I can't say in this video, but that's pretty much what it is. This Jake don't know what's going on, man. And I guarantee you, that Eve is doing her thing, man. You can see it. Look at him. And who the hell would let this guy in the camp? If I see this guy come to the camp, I'm going to scrutinize him, man. Now, we never know. Some Jake have certain spirits and look a certain way. Yeah, but you have to scrutinize it no matter what. But come on, man. That's what we tell you about Eve, man. Eve will take you, pull you away. He's caught up in the woman long hair and her look, and she knows it. So she can take advantage of the situation. But anyway, Matthew 22:9, go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as you shall find, bid to the marriage. Now, why did Yahushua say that? Why did Yahushua say bid to the marriage? Meaning to bring us together. How the hell are you doing it like that? You're not going to do that without a camp, number one. Everyone, as I said before, everyone has a religion and everyone has a camp, period. And what is a camp? Let's see. Let's go to Exodus 19:16. And it shall come to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people was in the camp trembled. Right? So we see this word camp here. And we can look up this word camp. It means encampment, camp, place encampment, camp, armed, host of army, camp. Those who encamp, company, body of people. Right? In another sense, you can go to the Strong's definition. It says an encampment, travelers or troops, army, soldiers. And you say, be ye good soldiers, right, of the Lord. It says dancers, angels, cattle, locusts, so forth and so on. A company. So you have many camps. So, for instance, the Black Conscious community, that's a camp, right? The Old Testament Israelites, well, that's a camp. Atheism, that's a camp and a religion. A religion, it just means a belief, right? That's all that means. Or you can look at the Latin, means to hold back and restrain, but mainly it just means a belief. So everybody has a religion. An atheist, well, guess what? They're in a camp. You know, all these, the Christianity, that's a camp. When they come together and they go to service on Sundays, they are encamping themselves in a camp. Yahushua, the one you call Jesus, guess what? He had a camp with the 12, right? And he had disciples. and they got together as well. In fact, when he fed the multitude. And you got to show me, I don't want this to slip, you got to show me where Yahushua told any man he was going off for having more than one wife. I do remember the woman at the well in John the 4th chapter when he said she had 5 husbands, right? And the reason why he pushed that, because the doctrine of the Israelites in Samaria the heathen, let me say, was stumbling blocks to the Israelites, and they started following and believing in those customs that a woman can have many husbands, right? And you see it today where women believe that they can have hundreds of men, but a man is supposed to have one wife. This is what they're pushing, because you see so much of this when you think of polygamy and you think of men, when you think of the multiple wives. Why do they say multiple wives? Why are they not pushing polygamy with the multiple husbands? You notice that. This woman always says, and I've seen in the last few videos, the polygamy always was directed towards men. But you notice they never really directed towards the woman. I wonder why. But anyway, again, those are other videos. Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations, as thy fathers, and he will shew thee as thy elders, and they will tell thee. Right? So this is what happened in the ancient time. Romans 15:4. What does it say? Everything are written 4 times for our learning today. Right? So this is what this was all about. You can do your own, and you can do the work of the Lord. You don't technically need to be embodied in a particular camp. Your job is to go out and teach. But if you're teaching, say, the Great Millstone Doctrine, you're still pretty much, you might not be in so much the congregation of the body so much, but you should be in some form of order. And you're still teaching that doctrine, which make you kind of encamped in that doctrine. Okay? That's all that's saying. I've seen Jake, who did pop up and start doing the work, but I think it's kind of selfish if you just start doing the work and there's brothers in your city that's in your same doctrine and you won't recognize them and you won't encamp with them here or there or even socialize or, like I said, recognize them. I think that's selfish, and that's not being brotherly, because the whole point is us being brothers, right? You don't have to get along to a degree, but there's brothers. 2 Peter 2:3. And through covetousness shall they with fiend words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. This is why we see these people who just pop up and they don't believe in camps. Their whole issue is against order, right? The woman said the hate groups. Well, Amos 5:15 says hate the evil. You mean to tell me you don't hate evil if you're in the truth? Right? You don't hate evil? So what is the hate going to? Call yourself a Christian. Wipe out that Hebrew Israelite thing, man. The Hebrew Israelite has a standard with that name as leaderships, rulers of the next kingdom. That's what it means to be a Hebrew Israelite. Doesn't mean to be a Hebrew Israelite, you and everybody else is the same, but you recognize your heritage and nationality. Why the hell are you representing or recognize your heritage and nationality if it doesn't mean anything? If everybody can be saved and everybody's going to be equal in the kingdom. We do know in the kingdom of heaven, which will be here on earth, there will be rulers and leaders, and there will be people under them. It's always been rulers and leaders on the planet. It never have and never will be all equality on the planet earth in the kingdom of heaven. Never have, never will, and somebody got to prove it. That will never happen. We'll be one, but there'll be leaders still set up, ruling and running the kingdom. Why are you calling yourself a Hebrew Israelite if it don't matter and all can be saved? We're God's chosen people, but you can graft the Gentiles in, which they don't even look up the word Gentile. It's a universal word. It means several things. It can mean a heathen. And in fact, the original word of Gentile just meant heathen. But through the Vulgates with an S, And it transferred from gentilius or gentium, gentilius, and it just meant stranger or foreigner. So when you love your, if I have a family member in Russia, right, who's not under this household, well, guess what? He's a stranger. So I'm still supposed to love him. And this is what Paul was saying, like in Acts 2 in the Pentecost. When they come, you still supposed to love them and treat them with respect because you had high mighty Israelites. Again, that's another video. These people, they don't really believe in the truth. They just adopted the truth with the Most High. And this was Exodus 20 was saying, thou shalt not have any other God before me. That's all I have on that. Shalom.